Thanks for staying with us. We have some birthday requests, the word of the day, and your financial tip for the day is still to come. But my next guest is already in line. Joining me now via the Flow video platform, Mr. Wang Sonson. Mr. Sonson is the manager of the Boys Training Center at BTC. Katie, we are working right now with Mr. Sonson, who is already online, and we will connect with him shortly. He has been in the position now for the past 6 years, and previously he served as an officer within the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, been there within the force from 1997 for a period of just about 9 years. He was also enlisted by the Bermuda Police Service, where he served 10 years, working within various departments during his career as a police officer. He's here to talk vulnerability and crime with us this morning. Mr. Sonson, thanks for being patient, and welcome to the platform.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Good morning. It is our pleasure to have you for this important discussion. We know all what's happening with the youth right now, particularly our young men. So based on your experience as a law enforcement officer and your 6 years within the current position at the Boys Training Center, what are some of the factors that you see being presented to you through the wards at that facility?
Well, what we have seen over during my time, it's a lot of young persons coming from dysfunctional households, single parent households, absenteeism among the fathers, neglect. These are some of the major issues that the boys coming to us present. No family structure. A lot of them lack of support when it comes to the family environment. So these are some of the issues. Abuse, whether it's physical, sexual abuse. These are some of the factors that we are observing among the boys coming to us.
Yeah. And I thank you for that, because most time you heard a story that these boys are bad children, they're bad wards. But as you just explained, there's some really core issues which contribute to perhaps their attitudes and their actions.
Yes, definitely. Most of them at some point in their life, they have been through trauma. So you have a lot of traumatized young men coming to the center. Some of them, because they don't have that support, they will lash out. And we, not having the patience as adults to work with them, we would simply stump them or say that they are bad boys. But most of these boys, when coming to the center after working with them, we see that it is deeper than just the presenting behaviors, that they have been traumatized in their lives, and this is why they are behaving in the manner that they are behaving now.
You've registered some success stories at BTC that I want to talk about in just a bit. But tell us about your program. What are some of the activities, initiatives that you engage in to help out these boys?
Okay, so first of all, every boy coming to the Boys Training Center is assigned a counselor to provide psychosocial support to them when they do come to the center. Apart from that, we have an educational program where we have teachers on staff. We have counselors on staff. We also have a good sporting program as well. In the education department, for years, it has been that we have welding, auto mechanics, and agriculture, and boys coming to. So the center is like 62 years old. In February, it's going to be 63 years old. So boys coming to the center can engage in these programs. As you would have noticed, this program is limited. So we also have enlisted boys in care as well, so that they can learn other traits, skills that are not being offered at the Boys Training Center. Over the past 5 years, we have embarked on getting boys certified in Caribbean vocational qualifications in welding, auto mechanics, and agriculture. And I must say that has been a successful journey so far, and we are hoping to build on it and even build on the programs that we offer so that we can really assist our boys that after they leave the center, they are equipped with the skills to survive in our society.
Excellent, and kudos to yourself and the staff for the programs and the strides over the last 5 years. What has been the response from the boys? How well have they done and are doing? What are some of the success stories?
We have had some success stories. You would appreciate that at that age, a number of the boys who come to us, academic levels, so you would have probably a 14 or 15-year-old come to us and operating at grade K. And amazingly, these boys would have been in secondary schools, probably form 1, form 2, when coming to the Boys Training Center. And it is very difficult for them to cope with what we are trying to teach them because of the grade levels. Some of them show a natural inclination to go towards the trades. They are very up for it. They are motivated by it. And one such case is a boy who went on to do level 1 in welding. He went on to do level 2 in welding as well. That's like the equivalent of a diploma. And he has been gainfully employed and he's been doing tremendous work. He's even gone on to further his welding to even better what the instructor at the Boys Training Center had taught him. So he's even more experienced in certain fields than the instructor at Boys Training Center. What we class as success at Boys Training Center is not necessarily a boy getting an actual certification, but boy coming to us, being on a particular path, and after he enters the Boys Training Center, and we provide intervention and rehabilitation programs, that he are able to steer him away from that path of probably the gang life, interaction with the police, or even an early death. So this is what we find as success, really steering a boy away from that life that would only end disaster for him and steering him away from that life. But we have had a number of success stories. And even I tell my staff every day, at this age, sometimes the boys don't appreciate what we do for them. But we have had the experience that after the boys leave the center, they would call. One even emailed me once and told me, thank you for what you did for me at the Boys Training Center. And he has even offered to come back and speak to the boys at the Boys Training Center and try to steer away from a life of crime. So we may not see it bearing fruit right away, but in the long run, we are really doing a good job.
Excellent. I can appreciate it, and I know many citizens appreciate it as well. Quickly, Mr. Sonson, number of mothers and single fathers as well, they tend to adopt the approach. I don't want to send my son to that facility. My son is not for a Boys Training Center. What say you? How can we begin to convince them that the center is not a bad place and it's the right step for their child?
Well, let me start by saying that I would like it if we had a St. Lucia where there was not no need for an institution like Boys Training Center, meaning that the parents would step up and do what is expected of them, take responsibility for their children. But unfortunately, this is not always the case, and there are circumstances which goes beyond the parents, where some of these boys coming to us have absolutely no parents in their life. They've lost both of their parents, and we are the last resort for them. But at the Boys Training Center, I would like to let the wider public know that what we do is try to instill life values in those boys, try to get them the therapeutic and psychosocial intervention that is needed, give them the life skills that they need to survive and navigate life. So it is a caring environment. As much as possible, I try to ensure that the environment is one of care, where the boys come first, and we try to set them on that path where they are productive citizens. It may not always be that case, because you can imagine a boy coming to us at 15 years old. For 15 years of his life, he has been brought up or cultured a certain way, And for him to come to the center, boys training center, and spend probably 6 months, a year, or even 2 years. And then after he leaves, he goes back into the very same environment that sent him to us in the first place. So it all the interventions and all the good that we have done would be eroded by him going back into that same environment.
Yeah.
So as I said, it may not always be success stories, but the success stories that we have are ones that we can be proud of.
And obviously the buck doesn't stop with the boys training center. The entire community has a role to play in the reintegration of those wards back, ensuring that they stay on the right path. What more do you need,
Definitely.
Mr. Sonson, at BTC to do more for the boys of St. Lucia?
Could you repeat?
I was
Sorry,
asking,
I didn't.
What do you need? What more do you need at BTC to be able to do more for the wards, boys?
That is a question. We are always in need of more. We are always in need of more programs, the resources to really bring about more programs at the center. We also know that the Boys Training Center has two categories of boys that are in conflict with the law and those in need of care and protection. And believe it or not, within the past week, we have had 4 boys admitted to the center for various offenses, and are coming as juvenile offenders. So I believe we are coming at that stage where we need to revisit the boys that are there for care and protection and those that are juvenile offenders. And is it BTC? Is BTC the institution for both sets of boys to be in?
Yeah.
Should it be that the care and protection boys have their own institution, whereas the juvenile offenders are separated from them?
Yeah.
So these are some of the challenges that we faced. We know that in 2018, the Child Care Protection and Adoption Act, as well as the the Juvenile Justice Act as well, the Child Justice Act, sorry, was enacted, and the age of the child moved from 16 to 18. So we are getting children who would not necessarily be coming to BTC previously, now coming in with all these antisocial behaviors already grounded in them, and it is posing a challenge to now work with these young men in the environment of BTC as it is now. So probably moving forward, we need to revisit the institution, the facility itself, and see how best we can adapt for the changes that we have seen over the past 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, absolutely, because and interesting that you bring it up now. These are 2 separate cases, and they need different care, different attention. So you cannot perhaps have them in that same environment. You perhaps corrupting the other boys who are there for care and protection, having them there. So it's an interesting discourse that we must have, Mr. Sonson. In February, when you have your anniversary, God's Prayer, I want you to keep us posted so we make it big and that we highlight all the programs and what you're doing at the Boys Training Center. But thanks for coming on this morning.
Definitely. Thank you very much for having me.
You're most welcome. The head of the Boys Training Center. Pleasure to hear. I'm happy to hear that they're making some significant strides at that facility. They still need our assistance in Lucia. So corporates in Lucia, if you can, contact Mr. Sonson and make a contribution to the Boys Training Center. Parents, if you have a troubled ward and you're in 2 minds whether or not the center is the place for your son, definitely it is. We'll see a change over time once you continue to play your role as well as a parent, mother, or father. Stay with us. Next, we go downtown Castries, where Her Majesty's Opposition United Workers' Party is gathering for a peaceful protest. Next on Good Morning St. Lucia.
Ooh la la! See what's new at Courts. We've got great deals on living and dining room sets, appliances,